This is the last lesson of Module 2. It's called Order Rational Numbers. So I'm going to take it nice and slow on this one because it has the most information in it and it's a little bit more complex. We're taking everything we've learned and it's helping us build upon this lesson. Okay, for some reason, this is not working with me over here. I tried to download it several times. It's not working. When we get over there, I'll tell you what we're going to do because it's 3 words. But we're going to start with number 1. Now, there's a lot of wording going on here, and we don't need very much because remember, word problems, they put a lot of stuff in there, and we need to pick out our key information. Before we do that, I want to read this little tidbit that I have typed over to the side right over here. It says one way to compare rational numbers is to rewrite them in the same form, meaning either choose decimals or fractions. I prefer decimals myself because fractions, you not only have to get them to be a fraction, then you have to find a common denominator. So I prefer decimals most of the time, but to each their own, you can do what you want to. And we're going to start by reading number 1 and picking out our key things. The average weight of an adult African pygmy mouse is 0.27 ounces. Weights of the mice vary depending on age, diet, and whether the mouse is male or female. The differences from average weight in ounces for a set of African pygmy mice at a zoo are shown. So these are the differences. It doesn't weigh negative 0.14 pounds. It's just showing you the difference between if one of them what the average is 0.27. That just means this one weighs 0.14 less than that. Because something can't weigh a negative amount on Earth. So how can you use a number line and the number line to order the numbers? We can use a number line. I think this is going to type rather large, but that's okay. How can you use it? We can use it to put the dots, if I can spell, then put them, then they're in order. They are in order. Let me make that smaller because it's everywhere, but it's not letting me make it smaller, of course. There we go. So we put the dots on there. We can use it, and it puts them in order from least to greatest for us. We're going to change it over and put the numbers on the number line. Our first one is a positive 0.9 or 0.09. And I'm zooming in because I'm having a hard time seeing this little guy right here. Okay, first one is 0.09. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 0.09. Our next one is negative 0.1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Negative 0.14. The next one's positive 12.12, I'm sorry. And then positive 0.06. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And negative 0.1, 0.1. I got them all. Now let's look at part C. Complete the statements using the graph in part B. A number to the left of the second number on a number line is less. Because it's to the left, numbers to the left are less. D, write an inequality to compare 0.09 and negative 0.1. So I have 0.09 is what to negative 0.1. I look, this is positive, this is negative, it is greater than. Now we have this one. Write an inequality to compare negative 0.14 to negative 0.1. If I look here up at the graph, negative 0.14 is farther to the left, making it smaller. So this is less than. And now we're going to write them in order from least to greatest. I am going to zoom out so I can see the number line and my problem at the same time. If it lets me move it. Oh, but I don't like that. Okay, let's write it. I need to go in once. Will that make it better? Not better. There we go. But now I'm in too far. Our first one, though, is negative 0.14. Negative 0.1. And then we have 0.06. 0.09. And 0.12. It is always important to check to make sure it's least to greatest because sometimes they switch it up on you. Okay, let's go to the top of the page. Okay, for some reason it's not liking this at all, but this right here is supposed to be above there. On my notes, it's actually like that when I transferred it over to a picture to put it on here. Not sure what happened. I tried it like 3 times. But this actually says right here, rewrite each decimal as a fraction. So that's what we're going to do right here. Okay, we're going to start with this one right here, and they already dropped it down here for you. The 2 is in the hundredths spot. Remember, tenths, hundredths, thousandths, place value. The 2 is in the hundredth spot. That's why we have 100 here. And then we're going to put a 62 above it. I know it's 62 because that number, 62. To make 100 be 50, we're dividing by 2. Since we divided by 2 on the bottom, we have to divide by 2 on top. 62 divided by 2 is 31. So we get negative 31 over 50. This next one, whole number, transfers over right there. The 8 is in the hundredths place. That's why we have 100 there. We're going to write our 18 on top. Because we have this says 50, we need to change this to 50. Remember, we're dividing by 2. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So negative 1 and 9/50ths. B, what is the least common multiple, or LCM, of the denominators of all the fractions? It's going to be 50. They already have that out for you. The denominator is the bottom number. What are the numbers written with the LCM as a common denominator? So, again, it copied weird here, even though it's right on the actual notes. We're changing all of them to have a common denominator, like what I was talking about at the very beginning. If you decide to go fraction, you have to change them all to have the same denominator, which, as you can see, that's a lot of things to do here. So we're going to go ahead and change them all. To turn 5 into 50, we're going to multiply by 10. We multiply 10 on by bottom, we have 10 on top. 2 times 10 is 20. And as you see, the whole number and the negative sign just come over. Okay, the reason they have this already marked like this is because we solved it up top. We're just going to transfer it down. So we have 31 there. We already did the work. They're not going to make us do the work again. Same things with negative 1.18. We got a 9 over 50 there. So we're just going to copy it down. Then we have to do this last one because we have to get the same common denominator. 5 times 10 is 50. I multiply by 10 on bottom. I have to multiply by 10 on top. 3 times 10 is 30. Now, what they want you to do is write the numbers in order in their new forms, and then in their original forms from least to greatest. So we have to do 2 things here. We're doing least to greatest, so the ones with a negative 1 in front are going to be going first. And we're just going to be starting with this one because 20, we'll kick it farther over on the left-hand side. So I have negative 1 and 20 over 50. Followed by negative 1 and 9 over 50. And then this one's pretty close here, but we're going to do negative 31 over 50, and then negative 30 over 50. So that's our new forms. Now we have to write the original form. So we're going to start with 1 and negative 1 and 2/5. Negative 1 and 9/50 is right there. Original form is that, negative 1.18. Negative 31 over 50 is originally negative 0.62. And negative 3 steps. So it does take a while to do all of these steps. I personally would rather go decimal on all of them instead of fractions because when you go decimal, again, you don't have to find a common denominator. We're on the next page. Again, I'm saying one way to compare rational numbers is to rewrite them in the same form. Okay, in your notes, you won't see this because I'm realizing that this is the same problem from the other side. So in your notes, you're not seeing this because I have redone it by that time. So we're going to go down to the very bottom, and we're going to look at the list of numbers below. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. We're going to write each decimal as a fraction. I'm going to zoom it in so we can see it a little bit better. And we're going to rewrite them. The 4 is in the tenths place, so we're going to write it with a 10 on the bottom. And they want us to make it into a 5. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Whatever we do on the bottom, we do on the top. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Here, the 8 is in the tenths place. They rewrote the top already to change the 10 into a 5. Again, we're dividing by 2 on top and bottom. 8 divided by 2 is 4. The 2 is in the tenths place. We're going to put the 2 up here. To make it 2 to be a 1, we divide by 2. If I divide by 2 on the top, I have to divide by 2 on the bottom. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now we're going to put these on the number line. Whoopsies, sorry. The first one is negative 2/5. So 1/5 negative 2/5 goes right there. I did this one. Our next one is negative 1 and 4/5, which is all the way over here. And then this one is just 1/5, which is right there. Then I need to look up here. So I've done this one, and this one. I still need to do 3/5 and negative 6/5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to write the numbers from least to greatest in their original form and original form only. So if I look at negative 1 and 4/5, that original one was negative 1.8. I did this one. Negative 6/5, that was the original form. Negative 2/5 was originally negative 0.4. 1/5 original form was 0.2. And 3/5 original form was 3/5. Okay, remember, anytime you need to stop and go back, do that. Remember, I'm not having anyone in the classroom right now, so I have no one to ask questions to about for understanding or any of this, so I can go at my own pace.